Alright, so this video is to get help on the Simple Interest Math Lib assignment. So I did number 1 in class, but I'll do it on this video too, just in case. So this one says, Jane receives $875 from her graduation party. She put the money in a bank with a 4% simple interest. Alright, so we're dealing with simple interest. Remember, this assignment's dealing with just simple interest. On Monday, we'll go over compound interest, but this assignment is just simple interest. So we'll have to look and see simple interest. How much interest will she have earned after 7 years? All right, so remember the first step to do is to write out your equation. So we're doing simple interest, so I equals PRT is our equation. So I equals PRT. And so now our goal is to find out what I is, what P is, what R is, what T is, and then solve for whichever variable that the question is looking for. So this question is asking how much interest. So this one's pretty explicit. So how much interest? So we're looking for interest. That's going to be a question mark in the I. So now we need to find the principal. So first we need to ask ourselves, are we dealing with an investment problem or a borrowing problem? So since she's putting money into a bank, that's investing. So looking over here, we're looking for principal and investing. So we're looking for something similar to money deposited, put into a bank, starting amount, opened an account. And she put money in a bank. So this is your key phrase, put money in a bank. How much did she put in the bank? 875. So 875 is going to be our principal. Now we have our rate. So rate is expressed as a percent. So we need to look for a figure that has a percent. So remember, sometimes they might spell out 4, they might spell out percent. So we have to look for what the rate is expressed as a percent. So it's 4%. So 4% will go there. However, remember 4%, we have to convert it into a decimal by going 2 decimal spaces to the left and get 0.04. So 0.04 is what we'll be putting into the equation. All right, time. Time is, so remember, time is the length of time, obviously, and it needs to be expressed in years. Remember here it says convert months to years, so we have to make sure that it's in years. So sometimes the answer will give it to us in months, and we would have to convert it. But it's already in years for us, so we can go ahead and just put in 7. All right, so now that we're looking for interest, we can set up our equation. So I is equal to, because I is what we're looking for, what's our principal? 875. Our rate is 0.04. And our time is 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type this in on a calculator. Desmos. So what you want to do is you want to write everything down on your paper first and then type it into the calculator. You don't want to type in the calculator as you go. Write everything down and then put it into the calculator. So we're going to say I equals open parentheses 875 close parentheses, another open parentheses 0.04 close parentheses, open again, 7. And what do we get? We get 245. And 245 is C. All right, so let's take a look at number 2. So let's help you with this one. So Ethan borrowed. So he borrowed $21.90. Okay, so we're dealing with a borrowing question. So in order to find each of our variables, we're going to look for each of these keywords. And I'll put this page online for you guys sometime. So remember, write out I equals PRT. It's another interest problem. So how much interest? So it's just like the last question, I equals PRT. So what's important? Our principal, our time, and our rate. Remember to convert to a decimal. Remember, if it's given to you in a percentage, it doesn't matter if it has a decimal already. What matters is if it's in a percent form or not. So if it's in percent form, if you see that percent, or if it says the words percent, you have to move the decimal point over 2 spots to the left. And you would type in 0.025 into the calculator. This is already in years, so you'll type in 3, and this will be your principal. All right, number 3. Colton took out a loan from the bank to purchase a car. Okay, so he took out a loan, so now we're dealing with a borrowing. So these are going to be our key words. So borrowing, so we need to look for buying on credit, a loan of, initially borrowed. So Colton took out a loan from the bank to purchase a car. He borrowed $17,240. Okay, there's our principal. At a simple interest rate, okay, so we're dealing with I equals PRT of 8.25%. It gives it to us in percent. So remember, you're going to have to convert that 8.25 into it, move it over 2 decimal spots. And you'll get 0.0825 is what you'll type into the calculator. How much total will he have paid after 5 years? So there's our years. All right, so this time it's asking for how much total. So it's not asking specifically for one of the variables. It's not asking specifically for interest, principal, rate, or time. It's asking for how much the total he will have paid in 5 years. So the total of how much he would paid in 5 years is going to be the initial amount that he borrowed, which is our principal, plus the amount that he have to pay, which is coming over here. Cost to borrow money, paid in credit, that's interest. So we'll have to take principal plus interest, which means that you're going to have to identify the principal, and you're going to have to find the interest by using by multiplying PR and T. And then you'll take P plus I, and that's what's going to be total. All right, Stefan borrowed $8,950. All right, another borrowing question. So here's our principal for an engagement ring at 6.85%. So that means we need to move this over 2 times. Simple interest, so that means we're going to use I equals PRT. Interest rate, how much total? Another total question, so that means you're going to be using P plus I. Take the principal plus the interest. Will he have paid after 6 years? So same as the last one. All right, Veronica took out a 48-month. Oh, this time it gives it to us in months. So that means when we put it into the equation, we're going to have to convert this 48 into years. So make sure you pay attention if it's giving it to you years or months. So that means you're going to take 48 divided by 12 and get whatever number for the amount of years. And that's what you're going to type in on Desmos on the calculator. A loan of $5,500, there's our principal, to make some home improvements at a simple interest rate, which means we're going to deal with I equals PRT of 3.25%. There's our percent. We're going to have to move this over 2 times and type in 0.0325 into the calculator. How much total will she pay? Okay, another P plus I question. And then the total, whatever you get for principal plus interest, that's going to be your answer. All right, this one has, okay, Citibank offers 4.75% simple interest. We're going to have to convert that, while First National Bank offers 3.9. Okay, so we're going to be comparing 2 banks. So I'm going to go ahead and write up here Citibank. And then up here, I'm going to go ahead and write, what is it, First National. All right, so Citibank is going to be 4.75%. And then First National is going to be 3.9. So that way you don't get confused. You want to set up 2 columns for each bank that's offering you, because it looks like it's going to be one of those questions that we're going to have to compare the 2. If Tom wants to set up a new account with $500, okay, so we're dealing with an investing question. How much more money will he earn in interest? More money he'll earn in interest at Citibank over First National Bank. So that means we're taking the amount of interest he's going to earn at Citibank and subtract it from the amount of interest that he earns at First National. So we need to find I equals PRT for Citibank and I equals PRT for First National Bank. Take the interest from Citibank and then add it, or excuse me, we're going to subtract minus, let me just rewrite that, I from City National minus the interest that you get from First National, and that's going to be the difference. That'll be your answer. So if Tom wants to set up a new account, so that means setting up I'm running a little bit out of room. So that means over here for Citibank, we get I equals P equals R equals T equals. You're going to have the same thing for First National. I equals P equals R equals T equals. So interest is what you're looking for. So our principal, so new account, remember, opened an account. So opened an account with 500. So the principal is going to be 500 over here, and principal is going to be 500 over here. So you have two different columns for each bank because we're finding the difference in interest. How much more money will he earn interest bank with First National Bank? 12 years. So this is going to be 12. This is going to be 12, and then you use the interest rates. So rate is 0.0475 over here, moving 2 decimal points, 0.039. So you're going to find interest here, find interest here, and just like I said, you're going to take that interest that you get, the I that you get from here, and then subtract the interest that you get from First National. And then that's going to be how much more money the difference is. All right, so Jonah earned 150.36 in interest on an account. Okay, so another interest, simple interest. So we have I equals PRT. This time, we're not looking for interest. What are we looking for? What was the principal? So we're actually looking for the P variable this time. So that means when we set up our I equals P equals R equals T equals, our interest we're going to input is 150.36 because he's earning, it's an investing question. So earned from principal. So Jonah earned $150 in interest. So that means our I this time is going to be 150.36. Principal is what we're looking for, so that's going to be the question mark. Our rate is 1.4. Remember, it's in a percent, so we're going to have to take 1.4 and move the decimal over two spaces and get 0.014. Our time is 12 years. It's already in years for us. So now we set up the equation. We have 150.36 is equal to P is what we're looking for. Our rate, 0.014, we're going to get a room, times 12. So you're going to multiply these two together. Whichever number you get, it's going to be multiplied by P. So now it's using solving equations in order to solve for P. Multiply these two together. Whatever you get from the answer from this two is going to be multiplied by P. And it's going to be 150.36 is equal to that number times P. And then you're going to divide that number, whatever that number is, by this. And that's going to isolate P and get you the amount of principal. So that's how you solve for that question. All right, Scott took out a 72-month loan. Okay, another month. We're going to have to convert that to years. So 72 divided by 12, whatever that is, you're going to have to input that in as years for your T. Not 72. Don't put in 72 for T. That indicates 72 years. It's not going to take 72 years to pay the loan. It's going to take 72 months. But we have to put it in years on the equation. So we're dealing with simple interest. So I equals PRT. Scott took out a 72-month loan for $35,000. Okay, so loan, a loan of, so that's going to be your principal. So I equals PRT. 72-month loan for 35. Okay, so 35 here. What's the question asking for? What is the interest rate? Okay, this time we're looking for the rate. So I did that wrong. R equals, it's going to be our question mark. Our time, 72 months. So we're going to take 72 divided by 12. And get 6. So that equals 6. You can put in 6 for the T. If Scott paid if he paid, remember paid, cost to borrow money, paid, that's going to be your interest. So his interest that he paid is $89.25. So interest is going to be $89.25. So that's going to be set up as $89.25 is equal to the principal, times the rate, which is what we're looking for, times the time of 6. So again, you're going to multiply these two together. It's going to be, so you're solving for equations now. It's going to be 35,000 times 6, 35,000 times 6, which is 210,000. So 8925 is equal to 210,000. Let's carry down our r, then divided by 210,000, divided by 210,000. And that's what's going to be your r. Now remember, since we're going backwards, you're going to get a number 0.0 something something something. This time you're going to move that decimal point over 2 times to the right. And then that's what's going to be your answer. So remember to move the, let's go ahead and just do it. So 8925 divided by 210,000. I get, I'll write it right here, 0.0425. Is 0.0425 an answer choice? No, but since we're moving backwards, we're going to have to move the decimal point over to the right since we want to put it back into percent form. It gives it, the answer choices are in percent. So we're putting it back into percent form. That means we're going to move the decimal point over 2 times to the right, and you get 4.25. All right, so Abby earned $600 this past summer babysitting. Okay, she earned $600. So with that earned word, we might automatically assume, oh, this might be the interest that she earned. But let's keep reading just to make sure exactly what is the $600 is about. She decided to put this money in a bank. So if she's putting this money in the bank, remember, earning money from the bank or an investment firm, that's the interest. That's the interest. But if she earns $600 from babysitting, that's not earning money from investing. That's just earning money from babysitting. So she's putting this money in the bank. So if we're putting money into the bank, put money into an account, that's going to be the principal, not the interest. So this $600 is going to be the principal. She decided to put money in the bank that earns 5%. So remember, 5%, we're going to have to move that 2 decimal points over. Simple interest rate, we're dealing with I equals PRT. How many years? So now it's asking how many years to double her initial deposit. So if she wants to double her initial deposit, that means she wants to get $1,200 into her account. So that means that, let's set this up. So I equals P equals R equals T equals. She earned $600. If she wants to double it, that means she's going to want to have to earn that exact same amount in order to double it. Because what's double of 600? 1,200. So that means we're going to have to earn interest of $600 as well. Because if we want to earn $600 on $600, that's doubling it to get $1,200. Because our goal is to get $1,200 principal plus interest. What's our P plus I? 1,200, because that's the double of what she initially put in. So interest will be 600 and principal would be 600. Rate is what we're looking for. No, we're looking for years. So we're looking for years. Our rate is 5% or 0.05, moving it 2 decimal points over to the left. So that's how you'll set up that one, and then you can go from there. Okay, number 10. Miles is buying a new computer for $11.50. Okay, he's considering 2 credit options. Option A offers a 3. Okay, so this time we're going to have to set up option A and option B. So just like the other question before, comparing the 2 banks, so now we're going to compare 2 different loans. So you're going to have 2 columns of I equals PRT, I equals PRT. Buying a new computer for $11.50, blah, blah, blah. Option A offers 3-year loan. So option A is 3 years with 10% simple interest. So 0.10, moving the decimal point 2 times to the left. While option B offers a 5-year loan with a 6.5%. There's that percent, so we're going to put 0.065, which is the better option. How much will he save? Okay, so the better option, if it's asking for the better option, we want to go with the option that charges the least amount of interest. So whichever interest interest is the smallest amount, that's what we want to go with. How much will he save? So how much will he save means you're going to take the difference from whatever option is the highest interest and then subtract the option that's the lowest interest, and that'll be the difference. So definitely find which one has the lowest interest rate. What is our principal? 1150. So make sure you type this in all in the calculator, find the interest, find the difference of how much he's saving, and then whichever option offers you the smallest amount of interest, that's the option you're going to want to go with.